One, it's the first time I'm presenting as Vice President, so I'll be giving you a brief account of my activities as Vice President over this first few months of my term. Most of my time as Vice President, so since the beginning of the year, has been taken up with handling the relationship with the European Medicines Agency. Perhaps you're not aware, but we've developed a very profound relationship with the European Medicines Agency over the last few years, and we've been engaging regularly with them. One of my first tasks was submitting the application for the HCPWP, which means the Healthcare Professionals Working Party, which is a group of medical organizations. It's a forum for medical organizations to interact with the European Medicines Agency, and there are usually 2 meetings per year. We've been on this group since 2016. However, we've been there as observers, not as full members. We can't vote. In March we've submitted the application for the upcoming mandate for 2019 to 2022. And this application is for membership, so to be upgraded from observers to members. And we should be hearing and I can tell you, we are likely to receive the formal response today. We've been told. We haven't received it so far. I've been checking the emails, and there are very strong signs that we will be accepted as members of the HCPWP, and we'll have a very strong voice within the European Medicines Agency. So watch this space. I may still be able to announce that formally in the GA. If not today, perhaps tomorrow. In April, I also had a teleconference with the European representatives of the European Medicines Agency, the European Forum for Primary Care, and WONCA to discuss communication aspects, because there will be a signature, as some of you may know. We have agreed a joint statement between the European Medicines Agency, the European Forum for Primary Care, and WONCA, and the European Medicines Agency of joint collaboration. And I think I've mentioned to you before, we will be signing this statement on the 6th of June in Amsterdam, because that's the new headquarters of the European Medicines Agency, which, as you know, moved from London to Amsterdam because of Brexit. So we had a teleconference, and I'll tell you more about that. And hopefully it will be confirmed that we will become members of the HCPWP, and we will have our first meeting in September in Amsterdam. I've also been involved, so as Mary, as she was mentioning, we have been reviewing draft safety communications. This is the information that the European Medicines Agency sends out when they have concerns, when they raise concerns about drugs. And these drafts are quickly disseminated to scientific and national medical organizations throughout Europe. And so this means that we always have an input on this information, and they've actually changed many of these safety communications because of our input, so that the message is as relevant as possible to general practitioners. There will be also an opportunity for WEM representatives to be interviewed for the European Medicines Agency annual report this year, and we are counting on the presence of representatives from the European Medicines Agency in future WEMO meetings. They're very interested in engaging with us on this end. So this is a little glimpse of the application that we've submitted for the 2019-22 HCPWP mandate. We've mentioned that we feel that our level of commitment to the HCPWP's activities justifies a greater level of formal engagement, that as the largest group of prescribers in Europe, we should be able to have a say and influence the working group's decision-making process. And this is important, I underline that we also believe that our participation in the HCPWP is essential to make sure that the perspective of GPs and family physicians is heard, and we are convinced that EMA benefits from our input as well. And then we mentioned the activities that we've been involved over the last few years with the European Medicines Agency. We've attended a number of meetings per year. We've participated in EMA workshops, participated in their public hearings. Mary also mentioned some of these activities. We've participated, have provided input on public consultations, have reviewed draft safety communications. We participated last year for the first time in the Stakeholder Forum for Pharmacovigilance, the first time that GPs and family physicians were involved. We've worked also with other primary care organizations to agree on a joint statement regarding the strengthening of ties and collaboration with the European Medicines Agency, which will be formally signed and published in June. And we've added that we would like to point out that our work is currently aligned with the priorities listed in the HCPWP's work plan. For instance, we support the activities around vaccination and antibiotic resistance, HTA, and finally, we've stressed that these activities have required substantial commitment from several WEMA representatives in terms of time, effort, and time away from patients. But we are convinced that it has been worthwhile, and we remain firmly committed to maintaining or even increasing the level of participation and engagement in the HCPWP's activities over the coming years. So apparently, this application was successful, but hopefully it will be successful. I don't want to pop the champagne right now, but just telling you that the signs are very strong that we will be successful. Now, there was a teleconference with EMA, EFPC, and WONCA. This is to discuss the communication aspects around the signing of the statement. So the meeting we've agreed that the meeting will take place in the temporary premises of the European Medicines Agency in Amsterdam. This is not really in the center, it's a bit outside the center, it's near Sloterdijk station, but the agency will move to their permanent premises in November, hopefully. So there will be some welcome speeches, some reflections, discussions on the next steps of implementation of the action plan, and then some time for signature and taking photos. So we've agreed that from the joint statement, the EMA would extract some key messages that will be prepared in order to be used by the agency and the other organizations involved as part of news items or press releases on their respective websites. And then each organization decides how to use these messages depending on the organization's goals and communication style. And we will use common images and hashtags to use for social media messages. So this will be a huge stage for UEMO to have, to have a lot of prominence and be featured in the media. It will be good.
Tiago, sorry, it's a challenge for translators. Your speed. Slow down. We have enough time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I actually thought I was speaking slowly, so apologies. Apologies if I wasn't. So we've been also. Simultaneously, we've also been carrying out some preparatory work for the 6th of June event. The European Medicines Agency has asked us for logos and images of GPs with patients. And both Mary and I were able to take actual pictures from our clinical practice, so which will be used. This has been confirmed. Actually, there's a picture of me with a patient that's going to be used. You may ask now about the problem of course, we were concerned about the problem of informed consent, but we used my own trainee as patient. But in fact, my trainee is a registered patient in my practice, so it's actually like it's a picture of a true consultation. And we've also provided some suggestions for hashtags to be. This is important especially for Twitter. And we've reviewed the formatted version of the joint statement. I've sent you earlier this morning the draft statement, which is not the same as the one that we've reviewed, but I've been asked not to circulate it yet. We've also reviewed some of the key messages to be used for press releases and proposed visuals for social media. And there is a section in the key messages about the importance of general practice and GPs. So I think that this is also a big opportunity for the general public to better understand what the work that GPs do and the importance that they have. Mary and I participated in this virtual meeting on the 3rd of May of the HCPWP, PCWP. PCWP is the Patients and Consumers Working Party. Whereas the first is the representatives from medical organizations, the second one are representatives from patient and consumer organizations. And usually these meetings often, but not always, take place simultaneously. So you usually have the medical organizations and the patient organizations in the same room, but not always. And we discussed a number of technical aspects, which I'm not going to tell you about. There's no point. But the important point is that it was the update on the new mandate and the work plan 2019-2022. And we were informed that we will know by the end of the month, so this month, whether we will be accepted as full members of the HCPWP. Finally, the last thing I want to tell you about is what's been happening with our liaison with the other primary care organizations. So I've been engaging with the representatives from WONCA and EFPC. So for WONCA, it's usually been Mehmet Ungan, who I think is now the WONCA Europe president, isn't he? Yeah. And the representative from EFPC has been Diederik Arendonk. And I think I told you in the Rome meeting that we were going to have a joint workshop at the WONCA Europe conference about refugee health. Well, what happened is, it turned out that it became impossible to organize that workshop for a number of reasons. So we've decided that because Ivana Silva, who's the person we interact with at the European Medicines Agency, because she actually submitted an abstract to WONCA Europe precisely on the topic of involvement of GPs with the European Medicines Agency, we thought that we will use that opportunity, because she will be awarded a time slot to present at WONCA Europe in Bratislava. So we'll use that opportunity to have a little debate between the three primary care family medicine organizations. So we'll use that as a kind of a pseudo workshop. But and probably Patrick Ouvrard, who was already attending, who was already confirmed to be attending WONCA Europe, will be representing UEMO in that kind of mini meeting. And I think this is all I have to tell you for now. Thank you.